Hi there guys, my name is Nadaloon and welcome back to The Letter. Now where we left off we were just leaving the movie theater with Becca. But we're still hearing those whispers.
Yeah.
Saturday. Darkness closes around me, grasping, pulling, engulfing me. The ground caves in, and without warning, I'm falling. My eyes snap open. That's a cute apartment! Oh, I like the bat cat! It's so fat and adorable. I love it! Oh, that looks like my desk. Except instead of noodle cups, it's like water bottles and paper plates. For an instant, it doesn't immediately register where I am. Both my back and shoulders are aching from me having fallen asleep, all hunched up the night before. Well, probably also falling down the stairs probably had some sort of influence on that. Drenched in sweat, the nest of pillows I often keep around me feels more suffocating than comforting. I let my eyes adjust to the bright morning light streaming through my window and allow my breathing to slow down before untangling myself from the pile. I haven't had a single dream since coming to Luxburn, or at least none I can recall having. It's a shame because they used to be so vivid. Not the crazy vivid, but the more pleasant kind I'll tell my siblings about. Maybe it's just the stress of living alone? The knowledge that I'll always wake up in an empty apartment with no one to tell stories to?
What time is it?
Habit forces me to look over at the clock, even with the soreness weighing heavily on my shoulders, and the compulsion to never leave my bed for the day. In a heartbeat, I'm up.
Oh man, of all the times to oversleep. Towel? Towel? Where's my towel?
Oops, someone overslept. Needs to get the stink off her. Admittedly, it's a weekend, and as an unspoken rule, that entitles me to extra hours of sleep. But if Rose didn't kill me yesterday, she sure as hell will now. And right after what happened. Oh Lord. One box of donuts as peace offering won't be enough for the second time around. Grabbing my towel, I'm already a few short steps away from the bathroom when a muffled ringing breaks out from my bag. There's a moment of indecision at first, my mind conflicted whether I should just ignore or answer it. What if it's Rose? Or worse, our boss? Sheesh, in the end, the rational part of my brain wins out. The letter from yesterday peeks out when I pull the device out. Ugh. Constant reminders, huh? Just the sight of it's enough to put me in a foul mood, and it takes every force of will for me to ignore it in favor of answering the call. Caller ID reads Mama.
Huh?
It's around 4:45 p.m. in the Philippines right now.
That's an unusual time for them to call.
Usually it's around noontime here, and I'm the one calling, not the other way around. Better for them to use that money on something else than an international call. Regardless, in the most cheerful tone I can gather.
Hello?
Hello? Grace? How are you?
Mama! I'm doing okay. How are you guys over there?
We're good. EJ won a storytelling contest at school the other week. Brought home a medal. I thought you should know.
There's a tired lilt in her voice as she speaks. It's been there since Papa had to leave his job. I wish there's something I can do for her. But from miles away like this, the least I'm able to do is not make her worry. If only my older brother would actually lend her a hand, but Lord knows if that'll ever happen. Odds are, Kuya Jordan's already out drinking right now. Again. Drinking problem. Oh, that sucks. I can't count on my older sister either, knowing she has a family of her own, and well, Anne's financial situation isn't exactly... Anne? I have no idea how to say this. Isn't exactly great right now, having ran herself knee-deep in debt.
Great! That's great! Tell him congratulations from me. And let him know I'm gonna send him a little something extra this Christmas. How about Nico? Karen? Michael? I hope they're okay?
They're doing well. They wanted to talk to you, but they're all busy with school.
Oh no, that's fine. I don't want to bother them. Just tell them to keep doing their best for me. I'll just call back when I know they're not busy. And Papa? How's Papa doing?
It's a subject I'm a bit hesitant to broach, and from the way Mama's voice hitches, she also doesn't want to bring it up.
Papa. Grace, he's having a little difficulty right now. Weak appetite, he's having trouble swallowing, and lost a few pounds, but the doctor said we should keep encouraging him. It just means his body's accepting his new treatment well.
That's cancer. That's really hard.
The money you sent last time helped a lot to pay for it, by the way.
Oh, I see. That's good.
I won't deny that life has gotten tougher for our family. It used to be easy back when Papa was in good shape. But ever since he was diagnosed with a sickness 5 years ago, he had been unable to provide for us. Now the burden of feeding 8 mouths and settling Papa's bills all rests on my shoulders. Although Mama makes a little, accepting sewing and laundry jobs in our neighborhood, it's scarcely enough to cover the costs of day-to-day living, let alone the bloating hospital bills. We can't even expect help from our own government because the health insurance there barely covers anything.
I'm sure
You know
he'll
how
get
you
better
feel.
soon. Is he well enough to talk? Do you think I'll be able to speak to him, Ma?
Silence. I think the call got cut until...
Listen, Grace. Maybe it's better if we transfer Papa to a different hospital. Somewhere cheaper?
What? Why? Did something happen? Is it the deposit issue again? Give me the hospital's number. I'll talk to them.
No, it's nothing bad. The service here is good. Too good. Even the doctors. But I'm worried you're working yourself to the ground because of it.
Mama, we've been through this before. I want the best for Papa. And don't worry about the bills or the medicine, or me for that matter. I can handle myself. Everything's going well here. In fact, we're about to close a large sale.
Speaking too soon. Hopefully. Yeah, hopefully. If not, then I'll find another way. She doesn't need to know that. Sorry, Mama. You taught me not to lie, yet look at what I'm doing.
I'll have money to send over soon to cover the rest of Papa's treatment. And there's more than enough for Karen, Nico, Michael, and EJ's school tuition for the next semester, too.
Thank you so much, dear. I appreciate it. We all do. But I just wish you'd come home to us soon.
Yeah, I would miss my family really bad, too. Kailan Kaui? When are you coming home? EJ, the youngest, used to be the sole person asking me that. How do you respond to a question you don't have a definite answer to? 5 years later, and I still can't give them a straight one. I smile, though Mama can't see it. I fight to keep my lips from quivering, my voice from shaking. She's got enough on her plate as it is. No need to weigh her down with unnecessary concerns.
Promise me you'll be there to welcome me when I do, okay?
Of course. I'm sorry, Grace. I need to take this for a while.
There's a small commotion on the other end, the sound of gates opening, the voice of a child, EJ, talking excitedly about his day at school, the tapping of feet on the floorboards as he runs. It's been years since I went home, but I can still picture the whole scene in my mind. How tall is he now? Are the neighborhood kids bullying him now that I'm not around? Did Mama rearrange the furniture in the living room again? What are they having for dinner today? I miss them. I miss them so much.
It's okay, Ma. I need to go too. I've got work today. I'll call again soon, alright?
On a Saturday? Oh, never mind. Take care of yourself, dear. I love you.
Hey, I work Saturdays too. It's not the end of the world.
I love you. Bye.
It ends with a soft click, leaving half-truths and empty promises hanging in the air. Closing my eyes for a moment, I take a deep breath and shake away from my head the thoughts beginning to swim inside. It's pointless to mull over these things right now.
Okay, Isabella. Time to get that mansion sold.
Unfortunately, before I can take a single step away from my phone, it rings again. no doubt Mama forgot to say something. No, I bet you it's Rose.
Mama? Did you forget anything?
Excuse you? I'm too young to be your mom. Are you still sleeping? Hold on, never mind that. Get yourself in the office. Hurry!
Office? What about the open house? Oh no. Is it Sir John? Did he hear about yesterday? Am I in trouble? Oh god, oh god, oh god! I'm gonna get yelled at, aren't I? What do I do? I'll buy you an extra box of donuts if—
No, it's nothing like that. Will you calm down? Get yourself here, alright? I'll tell you everything then.
There's the telltale din of several feet shuffling against the wooden flooring, and an indistinct yelling in the background before Rose cuts the connection. That isn't in any way comforting, but it's enough reason for me to hastily discard my phone to my bed and finish my shower in record time. I make it to the office within 20 minutes of leaving my apartment, completely disheveled and out of breath. A feat if I take into account my usual travel time. Routine clamor, common to Briar Realty Corporation's Luxburn office, greets me as soon as my foot crosses the threshold. Papers rustling, telephones ringing at sporadic intervals. Yeah. Agents talking about varying volumes, staff moving about, and...
Where the hell is C? Where are my employees?
Well, he sounds pretty gruff.
What the actual fuck, guys? Of all the times to disappear without notice.
My boss's words turn muffled as someone else closes the door to his office. Likely the work of our HR manager. Probably. Throughout the past weeks, he's been in a bad mood over a few employees who have failed to report to work. That's not good. Like, are they missing? I hear they're still trying to get a hold of them, but to no avail. The result is half their workload has been shifted to all available staff, so as to not lose clients. Oh, shit. If you can't get a hold of them, they're fucking missing. Not that I mind the extra work. If anything, it means I'll have more to send to my family back home. Although the rumors of a branch closure circulating because of this is indeed a bit worrisome. My bag barely touches the top of my table when Rose pulls me aside.
Here, I need you to help me with these papers. If you could also get these signed and photocopied before lunch today, that would be great.
One after another, she thrusts a bunch of paperwork into my hand without explanation. A page flutters away from the top of the pile, and I lean down to pick it up, my eyes scanning the top of the page as I straighten. A purchase and sale agreement. Rose simply gestures her thumb toward our visitor lounge. Then I tilt my head in question. There, seated on the sofa, looking completely out of place in the humbly decorated room, is the same couple from the day before. Rights. Ooh, Boobs McGee and Creepy McFuckerton. Something bubbles up in my throat. Their presence in the office can only mean one thing.
They're buying it? We got a deal?
She swats my hand, tugging her sleeve, although her eyes are alight with something akin to joy. She wants this sale to happen as much as I do, and now that it's here, the deal needs to be... The deal needs to be closed, yet documents need to be signed still, but the elation is there, along with a foreboding feeling I can't quite pinpoint.
I had to do a little damage control, but they're already interested in acquiring the property, even before they attended the open house. I mean, isn't it obvious? They already hired an interior designer. I've never seen a buyer as aggressive as Madam Wright. She didn't even try to negotiate a lower rate.
That's good for us.
One at a time, Rose. I can't process everything you're saying at once. What do you mean?
They're paying 15% higher than the listing price, as long as we get the paperwork done as soon as possible. I think if we allow it, they'll be paying up front, too.
Even with that urban legend?
Rose nods. Well, obviously, she nods. You can see it.
Oh, I was so sure we lost the sale after yesterday.
Don't look so surprised. We still have to conduct some last few checks before we completely hand it over to them.
Please. I'll happily do the paperwork duty, Rose. I'll even go to the land registry myself and make sure the property changes hands with every single legal blessing.
Don't they have better things to spend money on? I'd haggle it down to the lowest possible price if I were in their place, especially with the stories attached to it. Not that my opinion matters one bit here. We're just their agents who are going to receive the hefty commission, after all. Nothing more. Rose gives me a pat on the shoulder, signaling she's heading back to them, and an unspoken instruction for me to follow after I'm done. It doesn't take me long to finish what work she left me. In fact, having the boss sign the agreement is the easiest, since it has put him in a better mood, much to the entire office's relief. Ma'am Hannah calls me over the moment she notices my presence at the lounge door. She welcomes me with a bright smile, her movements more open than what one will typically expect from a passing client to have.
Oh, Isabel! How are you feeling? You looked awfully dreadful yesterday.
Thank you.
Isabella, I'm fine now, ma'am. I appreciate your concern.
I really don't understand why they can't get my name right. It's a fairly common name. It shouldn't be too hard to remember. Regardless, I hand them their copy of the agreement.
Wonderful. Your team works unbelievably fast.
That's good. Ma'am Hannah skims through each of them with a scrutinizing eye, checking every page for any inconsistencies and errors. Despite the unassuming impression she gives off, she appears fully aware of what to look for and the process that goes into contracts like these. It is surprising, to be quite honest. I haven't pegged her for someone who is well-versed in these things, yet here she is. She shows some of it to her husband, and he responds with the same passive interest as if he is more than happy to leave everything to her. I can't tell if it's purely because he believes she's capable enough, or doesn't care about what they're buying, or simply finds such paperwork just tedious. It is tedious. Apparently satisfied with what she's seen, Ma'am Hannah claps her hands together before extending it to us for a shake. Rose and I release the breath we have been holding, both of us more than happy to return the gesture.
That settles it then?
Are you really sure about this property, ma'am?
Don't question her twice. No.
We could easily find you a bigger one among our current listings. Something with a modern touch?
Something not haunted, perhaps? Rose shoots me a warning glass that clearly says, "Don't make a scene, we're almost there." Yeah, she looks pissed. I'd be pissed.
Of course. Why wouldn't I be? The house is absolutely perfect, isn't it, darling?
It is a gorgeous house. It just needs some shit, cleansed. Is that a Voltron? There's a little robot on her desk. Someone didn't finish their soup.
A helipad would still be a nice addition.
A helipad? Why the fuck do you need a helicopter? How rich are these people?
Yes, well, we'll get there eventually, love. As I was saying, if your partner had the documents yesterday, we would have bought it right there immediately. Shame she didn't have it.
Well, there's still a few necessary documents we need you to sign after, but we'll let you know once we have those finalized. We'll be handling the process for the rest, so don't worry about it, ma'am.
Within a week, I hope. We
That's
still have a
fast.
housewarming party to plan, after all. You know how much thought should be put into those things.
There are
No.
servants for that, darling.
Servants? What the fuck? Even if I was filthy fucking rich, like, could wipe my ass with $100 bill fucking rich, which, ow, that would hurt. No!
Love.
And I certainly
it be
wouldn't call
better if
somebody
we
that I
handled it
hired a
ourselves?
fucking servant.
A personal touch of sorts. It is our housewarming party and our new home. No more than a week, ma'am. Barring unexpected delay, of course. You can leave it to us. Excellent. Well then, I'll leave you two to it. It's been a pleasure doing business with you. Oh, and before we forget...
She discreetly folds something into both our hands and winks, a finger raised to her lips, demanding our silence.
I know both of you worked hard on getting us this beautiful mansion.
She looks scary in that.
Did I mention we reward our people generously?
But this is... Ma'am, I can't accept this.
Don't
Yes,
you
you can.
worry, darling. It's a small thing coming from us. Consider this your bonus for a job well done.
She smiles sweetly, like this is simply the most normal thing to do in the world.
Oh, before I forget, my lovely interior designer would appreciate it if you hand her a copy of the floor plan as soon as possible. She's dying to work on the house. You can do that, yes? Here's her contact.
Certainly, ma'am. We'll have it processed as soon as possible.
I knew I could count on you, lovelies. I hope to see you two soon so we can get this closed.
Just like that, transaction over and done with. That was easiest sale ever, but I'm sure the plot twists and turns. My mind's still reeling even after they've left. Other agents will kill to have clients like them. A part of me feels lucky about the fact. No lengthy negotiations, no sudden change of minds, just talk, signatures, a few handshakes here and there, and we're done. And a tip. The other part? A second ago, we sold a haunted property to 2 innocent clients. Sure, the commission is big. Big enough to continue funding Papa's treatment and hospitalization. Big enough to pay for all 4 of my younger siblings' schooling. Heck, it'll keep me away from instant noodle diet for months. I don't have to go back to the mansion as well, once the deal's been closed. Much to my sanity's relief. But knowing something's in there? And we gave it to the good people despite that? Oh, Isabella, the things you do to sell a house and get money. Papa won't be happy with that. At least I'll have good news to tell next time I call home. The little lie I told Mom this morning isn't a lie anymore.
Well, they're something.
Yeah, they really are something.
So how does it feel?
To have sent 2 innocents to their doom, pretty good.
How does what feel?
Your first big multi-million-pound sale, silly. I know you've been with us for years, but this has got to be memorable for you.
Memorable is an understatement, Rose.
Come on, show some enthusiasm. They gave us a bonus, too. Aside from the commission and the other bonus boss promised. What are you gonna do with it?
I don't know. Send it home, probably?
Yeah.
All of it?
Not everything, of course. Most of it. I'll leave some for my living expenses.
Listen here, Isabella. I'll teach you something I should have told you before we ended your training.
She slings an arm over my shoulders and leans in closer to my ear, as though she's about to share a big secret.
It's okay to celebrate from time to time.
I don't get it.
It's simple. Go out, do something for yourself. Throw a party and treat your friends to free food. Didn't you say the last one's some sort of tradition back at home for you? Hello, this is practically a done deal.
Isn't throwing a party a bit excessive?
Your call. I won't say no to an invitation, by the way, in case you really are planning to throw one. A few drinks would be nice too, thank you very much.
I don't think my apartment's big enough for that.
You could always move? Bloody hell, you're working in real estate.
I think I'll pass. That's too much of an unnecessary expense for me. But I did promise Becca free lunch in case the sale goes well.
You go do that. Hold on a sec.
She quickly removes herself from me to answer the phone on her desk. Her tone shifts from playful to professional in the span of a few seconds.
Today? Not a problem.
Oops. Must be another client. Nothing surprising there. She's one of BRC's top agents, regardless of how modest she appears. A saleswoman through and through. I, on the other hand, have very little knack for it. Of course, I learned eventually I had to. But someone else will, without a doubt, do a better job. Once, though, in a drunken stupor, Rose told me a story of what could have been. Years ago, wide-eyed, young, and brimming with yet-to-be-fulfilled dreams and ambitions, she was a term or 2 away from a nursing degree. Out of courtesy, I never pressed the matter further. But perhaps it's where the sense of fondness started. A small connection due to one similar experience in our respective lives, of goals we both let pass us by because of circumstances we're in.
I'd be happy to discuss this over tea, ma'am. All right, I'll be there. Thank you.
New client?
Reassigned. Have you heard from Mark at all?
Not since the first visit to the mansion.
See? They're gone. They're
Why?
dead. Grudge girl.
No
Got him!
news from the HR yet?
None at all. Boss thinks he ran away.
Ran away? Well, this boss is pretty scary.
I doubt it, though. He's too much of a wimp for that. There must be another reason. Who knows? Anyway, I've got to meet this one. I'll see you later.
She throws a casual wave over her shoulder as she rushes out of the office. The lunchtime bell sounds shortly after, followed by the chatter of fellow agents also heading out for a much-needed break. Ordinarily, there's no need for me to go out, but oversleeping didn't allow me the luxury of packing my own lunch today, if one can consider taking an instant noodle cup from my pantry, packing your lunch. Time to make good on the promise I made Becca, I suppose. Maybe invite Zach and Ash, too. In the end, only Becca and Zach could come. Ash, on the other hand, can't be reached. All of my calls went straight to his voicemail. He's at it again. Right here today, gone the next day. Oh well, his loss. We've agreed to meet at a nearby cafe, the same one I usually frequent with Becca because it's cheap and they give away free bread around closing time. That's nice. I'm never saying no to free stuff. Quaint, a little old-fashioned, though it looks a wee bit out of place amidst the city's tall buildings, but we love it all the same. Much like the small building's facade, the interior carries an antiquated charm to it. Vintage art pieces and a row of shelves boasting an extensive collection of books cover the walls. It would have been nice to hang out here for hours on end, but even on a weekend, the place is still packed with people. Thankfully, Becca and Zach have already found seats and is engaged in some casual chatter when I arrive. It's strange seeing the two of them without Ash accompanying the other. They've never been particularly close. Sure, they talk when they meet, laugh at the same thing when there's something funny, but there's distance. The kind born purely out of differing interests. That or Zach's simply afraid of Becca. It's not impossible, and I won't blame him if he is. He might be the tallest in our group, but everyone knows that means nothing against Becca's temper. Yeah. Even I am a little scared of her.
Zach! Becca!
Well, you seem to be in a better mood today. What happened? I know that smile, Belle. Come on, still.
Don't rush me. I'm still trying to find the proper words for this. Let's order food first, okay?
Food is always a good idea. The waitress comes to take our order. On a normal day, me and Becca will order a hearty serving of their special vegetarian stovies. Stovies? I'm not sure. I think that's an English thing. Zach takes anything with a good helping of meat, sausages, or potatoes in it. But today's a good day. Great even. It's not wrong to indulge a little, right?
Today's special. For the three of us.
Even the person jotting down our order looks surprised at today's meal choice. She writes it nevertheless, and leaves without a comment. Becca furrows her brows in consternation, her mouth halfway open, ready to let loose a string of reprimands, of course.
Don't worry. It's my treat.
The glare Becca sends me reminds me of the one I got from Mama when I punched a kid bullying my younger brother 18 summers ago. Whew. Naturally, I never did it again after she made me apologize the next day. Depends on if the kid deserved the punch. But Becca's far from being my mom. A small sheepish grin is enough to dissolve that frown in a defeated sigh. Food arrives in the middle of a funny story from Zach, putting the rest of the conversation on hold as we're served our order. It isn't anything fancy. Pan-roasted sea bass, citrus-dressed asparagus, portion of mashed potatoes on the side, or at least that's what the daily special board says. That's fairly fancy. Never did pay any attention to it whenever I come here, since they price whatever's written way above what I'm willing to spend on food in a single day.
Oh, good. I'm so hungry, I think I'm dying.
You're always hungry.
Yeah.
Hey! Not all the time.
Let me guess. You skipped breakfast again.
Overslept.
Not on purpose. I may have overslept by a few seconds today.
Right then. Stop stalling, Isabella. What's this about?
She used the full name.
Let us say it, Rebecca. She wouldn't be inviting us out if it wasn't worth hearing out.
Well, we're waiting.
I'm treating you guys to a once-in-a-century thing.
An expectant grin breaks out on my face, except...
I'm sorry, say that again.
And this is important because...
Becca only raises an eyebrow at me, while Zach appears like he didn't get the punchline to another lame joke Ash made, and is desperately searching for someone to explain it. Oh, bummer. Maybe I should rephrase it? Ash is not here, so we should celebrate! Fuck that guy! No.
Okay,
Instant noodle
let me do
days
that
are
again.
over.
Guess what, guys? I'm paying! I sold the house!
As the news sinks in, their expression goes from sheer puzzlement to utter surprise. That's more like
You
it.
heard me right, ladies and gentlemen. As of today, I, Maria Isabella Grace Cruz Santos, am free from my instant noodle binge.
Wow, seriously?
Hold it, Belle. You sold the house?
Yep.
Which house is this? In Anselm Village? The one with the open house yesterday?
The one and only. Come on, Becca. I know you've got a better memory than that.
Oh. Oh, wow. That's... wow.
She lets out an audible hum. Although she's nodding, she gives the impression of someone who has heard something unbelievable and is still forcing her brain to absorb it. Did she think we won't be able to sell it? Have some faith in me, Becca. Am I not your best friend or what?
You don't believe me?
The words stumble out of my mouth one after another before I can stop them. I've been trying to avoid bringing up yesterday's little spat, and judging from the looks on their faces, it seems they are too. Me and my stupid
I'm
mouth.
sure it ain't the way you're thinking, Bella.
No, I do believe you. But don't you think the sale happened a bit too fast? The open house only started yesterday, and now you already have a buyer?
It happens from time to time.
Yeah, but look, I'm happy for you. Just yesterday, you've been really worried where to get money for your dad's new treatment. And now, all of a sudden, you have something. What if the sale doesn't push through, or I don't know, they're a fraud, or they suddenly back out? Isn't it a little too early to celebrate?
Rebecca does have a point, Bella. If you haven't closed the deal yet, there's still a chance they'll go back on it.
They don't seem like it to me. The lady appeared to really want it, and she approached me without even finishing the tour.
Pressured me into it, more likely. But I'm not going to tell Becca about that. Knowing her, she'll only
And she
fret.
already hired someone to handle the house's interior design.
You're joking. Who would do that?
The Wrights, apparently. It's actually pretty funny. She's a bit too excited to get the property, she forgot to buy it. At any rate, they've already signed the agreement today, so it's just a matter of time. And don't tell anyone about this, but Ma'am Hannah also gave us something extra.
Something as in...
As in, it's why I can treat you two to a free meal.
I'm more surprised you accepted it.
She didn't really give us a choice in the matter. So don't lose sleep over this, okay? The couple really want the house. If Rose didn't stop them, they'd likely have paid up front for it yesterday. That's despite the legends, too. I even tried to show them the letter. But nope. I want this house, darling. Go take all our money.
You don't really think they believe that, do you? I'm pretty sure for them, those are just rumors as well. No one is that superstitious in this day and age, Belle. Well,
Some.
there's you.
Right. You know what? I'll just eat all of these by myself.
I begin to gather their plates to my side, the food in each still untouched. A laugh almost escapes from my mouth, with the way Zach's expression quickly changes to disappointment. Becca's hand interrupts me just as I'm about to pull her plate closer to me.
I'm kidding. Don't go all pouty on me again. In all seriousness, though, I'm just concerned you'll get hurt if this doesn't happen. I know how badly you want to close this deal for your papa.
I'm sure he's gonna be fine now, though, with the money. They don't know yet. I think I'll call them tomorrow. Let them know things will be easier. Mama said this morning he's showing progress with the new treatment, too. It's just a matter of time.
I allow myself to fully smile, genuine and uninhibited. It's strange having to talk about this with other people, even those who've known you long enough. But today, things simply feel a whole lot lighter with them here. Lunch passes in an in an enjoyable fashion. A laugh here, a playful jab there. Most of it spent on catching up on others' new projects, or whatever keeps us busy these days. Something we couldn't afford to do the day before, taking into account what happened. Even Becca's surprisingly chatty. Is there something in the sea bass we ate? Zach, though, appears less energetic today. While he's far from being the life of a party, he's definitely not the type to keep quiet in a conversation with his friends. Apart from a few inputs, he's been silent the entire time. If Becca notices...
Are you sure you're not feeling under the weather, Zachary?
Huh? No, I'm okay. No worries, Rebecca.
Uh-huh.
Doesn't sound okay to me.
It's okay. I might be feeling a little bummed out today, but I'm sure this will pass.
Is it about the reviews this morning?
A pained expression crosses Zach's face, and almost immediately, Becca retreats in her inquiry as though the man's look is enough to answer for her. Oh, I look between the two of them. Did I miss something? What happened this morning? Did I stumble on a big secret? This is why I don't like waking up
You
late.
heard about those, huh?
Sorry, I just happened to check on some sites this morning.
Nah, it's a very sensitive topic in the first place. I should have expected it.
What reviews?
Becca glances at Zach, her motions unsure, eyes asking for his consent on the matter. Although there's a small desire to keep asking on my part, I don't dare voice it out. With Zach, it's always been better to wait, let him speak on his own. Becca too, to some extent, although with her, explosions of temper are more common. In the end, he simply answers with a momentary shift of his shoulders, gesturing for her to go on with a tilt of his head.
It's his movie.
That doesn't explain anything. Stop dangling the information, Becca!
Zachary, I'm not the one supposed to be telling her about this. At the end of the day, it's still your documentary.
Is it something bad?
Not bad per se. You guys don't need to dwell on it much.
Bad? Listen here. I wouldn't trivialize what those bowheads wrote if I were you. They're ruining other people's jobs.
From how her tone rises in anger, it seems like she's the one slighted and not Zach. A snicker escapes me, which I promptly stamp down on as soon as she sends me a hard look.
This isn't a laughing matter, Isabella. Some bowbag just insulted him.
Calm down, Rebecca. Those are just reviews, and it happens a lot.
I do not ken about you two, but calling the entire film an out-and-out drivel, you're better off watching an educational kids' TV show, and worst 1.5 hour of my life, among other things, isn't exactly a critique any decent movie reviewer would say. If you could call that a critique, did we even watch the same film?
Well, maybe I ain't cut out for it. Better stick with my photography or something. If nothing else, this helped me open my eyes to what I can and can't do.
No, just because some idiot reviewer says that your stuff's shit doesn't mean you shouldn't try to progress.
You're giving up.
It wasn't a question.
It was just something experimental I did on my free time anyway. It's no big deal.
It was a big deal to him. He put himself out
But
there.
you worked on it for months.
Doesn't look like it matters for those people.
Don't say that!
My palm strikes the table, sending the tableware on top, clinking against each other. I haven't even noticed when I've risen from my seat. But here I am, chest heaving, looking down at him in the same manner a teacher will at any unruly student. Becca's probably proud. I don't mean to yell, but there are some things people like Zach aren't supposed to say. How exasperating. He of all people should know.
If you give up now, how do you know you won't make a name for yourself creating films in the future? It's just a review.
Except they're pretty well-known critics.
Just because they're famous doesn't mean they're good at anything.
Why does that matter? They aren't the ones calling the shots on this. Isn't that why they have a committee? Right, Becca?
An amused gleam in her eyes when I turned to her. What does she find so entertaining in this situation? That I'm so angry? Help me here. Your friend's about to quit his passion for a petty reason. I've not read what those people wrote against his work, but a few scathing words shouldn't be enough to discourage someone. I should know. After all, I'm...
Failing means you're playing, Zach. Not that I'm saying it's bad. I've seen it from start to finish, and I know for myself what you created isn't something people should scoff at. I don't know anything about filming or photography. Hell, I don't have an inkling of artistry in me except for those doodles I make for class. But I know what I watched. Look at Isabella. It's not every day you see her all riled up like this.
Whatever I'm about to say gets lost on my tongue as a flush of embarrassment blooms across my face.
It was a heat of the moment thing. And anyway, I'll be very angry with you if you quit. What about the exhibit?
What exhibit?
Classified information.
Even if I bring you your favorite tonight?
Nope, not a chance.
Oh, come on! I thought we aren't supposed to have secrets.
A burst of laughter comes from
Thanks,
Zach.
you two. I might need some time alone to myself for a while. Just to think about things, how I'll go from here, that sort of stuff. Hey, I'm not quitting, Bella. Don't give me that face.
There's no face at all. Only a poor imitation of a puppy dog's eyes, if you can call it that one.
Promise?
I'll be damned if I break any promise I make to you guys. Besides, you're right. It's too early to say anything right now. Awards night ain't for another week.
And that's all the answer I need from him. As sentimental as it sounds, there's fulfillment in knowing another person you know won't take the same path you've walked. It's not like it's over for me, though. I've still got time. I can still come back. Do my own thing, do what I really want to do. Surely, once Papa recovers, once I'm done with everything. Inside my bag, my phone buzzes unexpectedly, breaking the pleasant afternoon lull. The screen shows Rose.
Hey, Isabel. You at the office?
Ha ha. Very funny, Rose. I'm hanging up.
Don't, I'm kidding. BRC says the floor plan copies are ready for Miss McCullough to pick up.
She states that as if it already explains everything. Then, out of the blue, she launches a long rant about the awful state of Luxburn's streets, betraying her cheerful greeting. All of which she says in a single breath that I can barely keep up and make out a single word. I stay quiet, if only to avoid becoming the next subject of her frustration. She's similar to Becca in that regard.
I'm stuck in horrendous traffic right now. Bloody stupid drivers.
When she has finally ran out of things to complain about and stops, what she says next still has none of what I'm hoping to hear from her. Just a quick mumbled plea for me to meet the Wrights interior designer in her stead, and
Anyway, I'll leave it to you. Bye. Thanks.
Classic Rose, she ends the call without even asking for my input. The sky is cloudless, and the noontime sun is beating down on the hard concrete when we depart from the cafe. It's far from unbearable, but it's enough to put most people in a fickle mood or make them vulnerable to catching something. No wonder we have staff members going AWOL lately, not to mention my boss's mercurial moods. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I want our usual cloudy weather back. For all the gripes about the unpredictable weather, though, the streets of Luxburn remain constantly busy. The hurried tapping of shoes against the pavement and inane chatter coming from the lunchtime crowd fills the humid afternoon air. Ugh, I hate humidity. A small reminder of the things we've yet to do, regardless of how much I want to return to the comfort of my bed. Back to Briar Realty for me. Zach to a meeting with a magazine publisher featuring luxury houses, and Becca to her lesson plans and books at home. But more than once, I catch her sneaking a longing glance over something displayed on a shop window. Does she want to buy something? Maybe I can get it for her for Christmas. I turn my head to the last shop she checked out. A fleeting glimpse. The world stills. She looks at me, eyes hollow, gaze piercing, and burrowing into my very soul, like a set of chains to keep my whole body still. There are no shadows or whispers this time. Only a plea. A hum. low and indistinct. Compelling me, beckoning me, intent on dragging me to the void beyond the glass. I don't dare move. My heart hammers against my ribs, each beat, every thump screaming at me to look away and make a run for it. But I can't. I couldn't. All my limbs feel heavy, while my own breathing strains in the face of her calls.
Leave me alone.
Her mouth is stretched in a grin, wide and unpleasant. Panic building up in my chest forces me to take a tentative step back. I try not to stare at the decaying flesh, the blood streaming from the gaping wounds on her arm and her nailless fingers. I don't want this. Not like this. Not after what I got. What I want for Papa.
No, stop. Leave me alone.
Her face contorts into something twisted as she lets out a wail, sharp and utterly unforgiving. Just rage. There's only hatred and bitterness, as if the very notion of turning away from her is an offense in itself.
Please! I don't want this!
Before I know it, I'm stumbling backwards, my own throat hoarse from screams I don't even notice already coming out of my mouth. The back of my feet catches on a loose stone, sending me sprawling to the ground. The resulting pain completely jolts me out of the haze, blurring my mind. For a little while, my surroundings appear unfamiliar, until Becca's face swims into my vision. A look of concern is on her face, and her hands are gripping my arms tight. Even Zach appears beside himself with worry while he stands beside her, acting as a shield against the small crowd of onlookers already forming around us.
What happened?
Bella, you okay?
My mouth opens and closes, but nothing comes out. The words just refuse to form. On an impulse, I sneak a swift glance at the display window. She's gone. Yet the foreboding feeling hasn't left me. My hands are shaking as I push myself off the ground, weakened limbs relying solely on reflex and muscle memory. Something icy has made its home in the pit of my stomach. I want to throw up. Anything to get the wretched sensation out of my gut.
You were screaming, having a fit. Zach, call someone.
No, don't. I'm good. I'm good. I need to get to the office. Rose, the floor plans. Someone's going to pick it up. I'll see you later.
Careful. Don't stand up yet. Stay put, Isabella. Zach, you watch over her for me. I'll call for someone.
I attempt to smile to put her at ease, but it likely comes off as a grimace. Gently, I pushed her hands off my shoulders. My knees are still trembling, but I can stand. Leave me. Stay away. Far from here. Humidity stifling. Everyone's stares are unnerving. Becca and Zach's concerns are suffocating. I want to be away from here. I break into a run. I wish I hadn't left my bed this morning. It's easy to fall into a cycle of negative thinking, with only the occasional drips of water on the sink and the whirring of the fan blades to keep me company. The room is devoid of any other light source apart from the ones streaming from the hallway and the windows. Even with the clutter I've accumulated over the years, the room feels a whole lot bigger than it commonly is. I hug my knees closer as a group passes by outside. Loud. So loud. If only there's a way to tune everything out. To keep my head from replaying every image, every sound of her. Her screams, her awkward gait as she reaches for me, her bone-chilling smile, her pleas for... Enough. That's enough. A shiver passes over me, though it's not from the hair still clinging damp against my back, nor the draft that enters the room from the windows I've left wide open. My gaze shifts over to the letter sitting on the coffee table. Its edges flutter innocuously as the wind touches it. Funny how an ordinary-looking piece of paper can bring this much trouble. The impulse to throw it away and rip it to pieces is still there. I can easily do it, but after that, what? Will she leave me? What about those people who've already seen it? Will they be okay? This uncertainty gnaws at me. Knowing she's real and might also go after people that I care about, I just wish someone would listen. Believe me. The abrupt break in the silence nearly makes me jump out of my skin. Blindly, I fish the gadget out from the massive cushions and papers beside me, where I've carelessly thrown it earlier before taking a shower. Ash's name flashes brightly on the screen. Is it calling back because of this afternoon?
Thank you so much for spamming my inbox with the same message, Scaredy Cat.
Hey, Ash.
What's wrong?
I just had a long day. The couple who bought the house wanted us to finish processing the papers within the week. It's a little hectic, but we'll manage.
Really? You sold it?
Don't sound so surprised. I told you, you don't stand a chance. The rights won't take no for an answer. You've been on the losing end from the very start. Ha!
Whoever said I was interested in the house in the first place?
But you said...
His snigger comes off as annoying to my ears, and I fight the urge to end the call right then and there. Stupid Ash.
You're such an ass. And just so you know, I'm not treating you to a separate celebration. Or ever.
No, that's just unfair. And here I was looking something up for you. Didn't you say you wanted to talk to Andrew?
I pause. I did say that, but I didn't think he'd actually go through the trouble, considering how much he scoffed at the whole topic in the first place.
Is he okay with that?
Totally. Besides, I need to ask him about something. I might as well do it soon. What do you say you come with me tomorrow morning?
Well, there's no harm in it, I suppose. I've got a free day anyway.
Great, I'll just pick you up. Don't oversleep.
Don't compare me to you. I'm not the one who sleeps like a rock.
Another round of chuckles come from him. I will live for the day he'll stop making fun of me. Just wait, you ashhole. As I'm about to press the button to end the call, he clears his throat.
And, Isabella?
The different tone in his voice sends my eyebrows shooting up into my hairline. Is the world ending today?
Yeah? Did you forget something?
Do you think we... Never mind. Good night.
Well, shit. He hangs up instantly. Rude? Completely rude! I didn't even get to thank him. The busy tone, though muffled, echoes through the receiver. No one's saying this will work, but even I am doubtful it will. But right now, I'll take anything. Anything to get out of this nightmare. Sleep comes easier tonight. And for the first time in a long time, I dream. Clear skies and unrestrained laughter from children playing in the streets and small, cramped dwellings. To an outsider, the sight does not paint a pretty picture. However, this to me is home. Alright guys, that's where I'm going to leave this episode for now. I'm going to continue this as soon as possible. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hit that subscribe button if you're new here and you want to enjoy some more of my stuff. And hit that like button if you like my videos. And of course, you guys, you have a great day.